Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is Explanation of Battle Through the Heavens episode number 240 based on novel. So let's start. The bright red magma seemed to have devoured the world. At a glance, it appeared as though the entire world was filled by 100,000 feet magma. A terrifyingly high temperature had turned this entire world into a furnace. Both armies were forced to hastily withdraw because of the monstrous huge magma wave. Many pairs of eyes were shocked as they looked under the magma. At this moment, even they were able to sense an extremely terrifying creature hidden under the sea of magma. Jiyu Yuan and Hun Tiandi had also halted because of this scene. Their eyes cautiously looked towards the magma sea. Even they could sense a danger under its powerful aura. It seems that Xiao Yang is indeed right. There is indeed a mysterious creature guarding the ancient god mansion. Jiyu Yuan's face was solemn as his eyes flickered. Rumble. The magma waterfall that rose to the air descended abruptly and landed into the magma sea. It turned into a huge wave that quickly spread apart and covered the distant mountain. With the fall of the giant wave, a huge creature suddenly rose from within the sea of magma. Although it was only a small portion of the creature's body, it was still extremely big. The mysterious creature's head, which vaguely contained a ferocious and pressuring aura, rose from under the magma and looked at the many people in the sky. Those huge eyes had a surprise flashing across them. It is unexpected that there is really someone who has obtained the Chu-Shi ancient god jade and summoned the ancient god mansion from that damn place. The mysterious creature's huge eyes swept over the sky. Finally, they paused on Jiyu Yuan and Hun Tiandi duo. Although there were many people in this world, only these two were worthy of being treated seriously by him. Jiyu Yuan and Hun Tiandi's eyes were grave and cautious as they looked at the mysterious creature. Even with the experience that the both of them had, they were still unable to identify this enormous creature. After all, they had only seen a small section of this mysterious creature. I am the clan head of the Jiyu clan, Jiyu Yuan. May I know who? Jiyu Yuan cupped his hands together towards this mysterious creature and spoke in a deep voice. Hun Tiandi by the side was also afraid that Jiyu Yuan would cooperate with that mysterious creature. Immediately, he cupped his hands together and uttered his identity. His tone was exceptionally courteous. Jiyu clan? Hun clan? It seems like two factions that were not considered big back then. It is unexpected that you are able to obtain the Chu-Shi ancient god jade. That mysterious creature emitted a deafening roar after hearing the both of them speak. It caused the surface of the magma to rise and formed many magma fire pillars. Jiyu Yuan and Hun Tiandi were startled upon hearing these words. Based on those words, it seemed that this creature had existed for a long time. Tens of thousands of years ago, the Hun clan and the Jiyu clan were indeed not considered some top factions. Who has summoned the ancient god mansion? Come to think of it, this emperor does owe him a favor, that mysterious creature once again asked without being concerned about the shock of those two. Jiyu Yuan and Hun Tiandi had a change of expression upon hearing this. The formers became uglier while the latter rejoiced. Haha, this friend, the ancient jade is in my hand. Naturally, only I am able to summon the ancient god mansion. Hun Tiandi stepped forward and laughed. The mysterious creature glanced at Hun Tiandi. Suddenly, an intense light surged. Immediately, its incomparably huge body suddenly shrunk. Within a short instant, it had turned into a purple golden-haired middle-aged man. He lifted his head. Those eyes of his were filled with a rich pressure as they stared at Hun Tiandi. He laughed faintly and said, I have received your favor and ought to aid you. However, I currently have other things to do. Therefore, we will settle this in the future. Jiyu Yuan quickly sighed in relief while the face of Hun Tiandi by the side involuntarily twitched. A chill flowed deep within those eyes. If it was not because he was afraid of the terrifying strength of the mysterious person, it was likely that he would have already given the order to kill it. That middle-aged man ignored Hun Tiandi after he finished speaking. His golden eyes suddenly swept over the sky. After which, they paused on one of the figures. An icy cold expression immediately flashed across both of his eyes. Xiao Yang in the sky wore a cautious expression. His face was slightly altered after he saw that this mysterious person had actually threw his eyes towards him. Could it be that this fellow still remembered him? Brat, come over. The middle-aged man looked towards Xiao Yang. He extended his large hand and a dragon roar appeared. Subsequently, a golden large claw broke through the air and struck towards Xiao Yang. Damn it. Xiao Yang's expression became unusually ugly after he saw that this fellow had simply attacked as he liked. His body hurriedly pulled back. At the same time, a spiritual figure appeared. The yellow spring divine anger was also quickly unleashed. The spiritual sonic wave ruthlessly smashed onto the large golden claw. However, the latter did not move. Mister, may I know how has Xiao Yang offended you? Jiyu Yuan's expression also changed upon seeing this scene. He hurriedly cried out. Humph, my target is him alone. I will fight you if you intervene. The mysterious person cried out in an icy cold voice after hearing Jiu Yuan's cry. He had detected the scent of his child from Xiao Yang's blood a couple of days ago. That bloodline strength was unique to their tribe. Yet, Xiao Yang was clearly a genuine human when one looked at him. In that case, there was only one answer. He had once devoured and refined his child's bloodline strength. His child might have even been killed by this person. The ferocious expression within this mysterious person's eyes had become extremely dense the moment he thought of this. Haha, Jiu Yuan, it seems that even the heavens aren't helping you. Hun Tiandi was also startled because of this scene. However, he quickly recovered and involuntarily laughed out loud. Jiu Yuan's face was furious green. Although he was unaware of why this mysterious person would target Xiao Yang, the latter was ultimately a member of the Alliance army. Moreover, Xiao Yang was also Jiu Yuan's son-in-law. Naturally, it was impossible for Jiu Yuan to simply watch him be killed by this mysterious person. He immediately cried out furiously, "Stop him!" Lei Ying and the rest from the Alliance army clenched their teeth upon hearing Jiu Yuan's voice. They could only summon their courage and attack. Xiao Yang was not an ordinary character. He was not someone whom they could simply abandon. Hence, they could not choose to stand idly by the side and do nothing. Humph! Rushing wind sound appeared from around the mysterious person as the latter attacked Xiao Yang. The mysterious person snorted coldly. He suddenly lifted his head. A roar, which caused even the world to tremble, wildly swept apart. Bang bang! Lei Ying, who had just charged forward, had not had the time to attack when he was struck by the terrifying sonic wave. Immediately, he was shot backwards. Blood continuously churned in his body while his face was covered with shock. "Brat, hand over your life." That mysterious figure flashed and appeared in front of Xiao Yang, who was pulling back. His hand grabbed towards Xiao Yang's head. Bang! A huge 9-colored light suddenly flashed across the sky when the mysterious person was attacking. It surrounded Xiao Yang's body and quickly withdrew. 9-colored heaven-swallowing python? It is unexpected that there are still heaven-swallowing pythons still existing in this world. That mysterious person was startled because of this scene. His eyes looked at the 9-colored giant python in the sky and exclaimed in surprise. Gold Emperor incinerating heaven execution. The golden flame spread throughout the sky amidst a roar. Finally, it turned into a golden light beam that was tens of thousands of feet in size. Finally, it smashed ruthlessly towards that mysterious person. Bang! The mysterious person threw a punch forward in the face of this attack. That ordinary palm wind immediately shattered the light ray when the punch was thrown. Insignificant attack. The punch shattered the ray of light. That mysterious person smiled faintly. Immediately, his golden eyes looked towards Xiao Yang in the distance. He opened his stride and appeared in front of the latter in a ghost-like fashion. "You won't be able to escape." The ferocious expression within the mysterious person's eyes suddenly soared as he looked at Xiao Yang, who was a short distance away. Purple gold light appeared. After which, it struck towards Xiao Yang and Zun'er beside him. "Go." The light came striking over. After which, the surrounding space was directly sealed. Xiao Yang's expression changed drastically. Immediately, a crazy expression suddenly rose into his eyes. His palm smashed onto Zun'er beside him and a huge force shattered the area around the light seal. His body began to swell rapidly. He was actually planning on self-destructing his physical body. Although the self-destruct of one's physical body would not lead to one's death once one reached Xiao Yang's level, it would still result in an extremely great harm. It might even affect Xiao Yang's foundation. However, he did not have any choice at this moment. "Don't." Zun'er's expression quickly paled after seeing this scene. Her originally cool and cold voice had suddenly become sharp. "Damn brat, you are really ruthless." That mysterious person was also startled by Xiao Yang's ruthlessness. However, his attack did not weaken. Xiao Yang's body swelled rapidly. Just when his body was about to collapse, a light seal on his hand suddenly unleashed a brilliant luster. The dragon seal Zi Yang had left on him allowed the both of them to detect if the other was in a dangerous situation. "Xiao Yang, don't self-destruct." An anxious female voice was suddenly emitted from within the flickering light seal. After which, a bright golden light suddenly surged from the dragon seal. It quickly wrapped around Xiao Yang's body and suppressed his symptoms of being about to self-destruct. The space in front of Xiao Yang swiftly split and formed a huge crack line after Xiao Yang's self-destruct was suppressed. Bright golden light erupted. Finally, it turned into a huge golden dragon. The dragon curled and swiftly wrapped around Xiao Yang. "Zi Yang, give way." Xiao Yang's expression changed drastically after he saw the huge dragon, which had suddenly broke out from the space. Given Zi Yang's strength, her body would be instantly shattered into a pool of blood if that attack firmly struck onto her body. The large purple gold seal, which was filled with a terrifying strength, suddenly appeared above the head of the huge dragon in front of the shocked eyes of the Alliance army and the wild joy of the Hun clan. However, The huge seal suddenly halted just when everyone thought that blood would splatter. The light seal rapidly collapsed. Light shot out in all directions and shone onto that mysterious person's face. His body had begun to shudder as though he was suffering from a stroke. The purple-gold light seal was suspended over the huge dragon's head. Even Zi Yang could only shut her eyes in the face of the great destructive force. However, when she was prepared to endure this sudden extermination like assault when the light seal came to a sudden halt, panting sound suddenly appeared across the sky as everyone watched the still light seal above the huge dragon's head. Some of the experts from the Han clan revealed disappointed expressions. Bastard. Jiyu Yuan's expression had become relatively ugly. He clenched his teeth and his body flashed. After which, he gave up on dealing with Han Tiandi and appeared in front of the mysterious person. He waved his sleeve and a powerful wind forced Zi Yang and Xiao Yang back. Both of his eyes contained some fury as he looked at the mysterious person in front of him and demanded in a deep voice, "Aren't you a little overboard to use a fatal attack the moment you strike?" That mysterious person acted as though he did not hear Jiyu Yuan's words. His eyes were stunned as they stared at the large golden dragon wrapped around Xiao Yang. He could sense an extremely familiar bloodline scent from within the golden dragon's body. That was a bloodline from the same ancestry. The only one in this world who could possess it was the child of his from back then. Child. Those golden eyes of that mysterious man, which were originally filled with a monstrous-like ferocity, had become gentle at that moment. His heart, which had been calm and quiet for countless of years, suddenly pounded intensely. His eyes stared at Zi Yang as he muttered. Jiyu Yuan was startled upon seeing this fellow's expression. He frowned and asked, "Who is your child?" The huge golden dragon shrunk swiftly. Finally it turned into a purple-haired lady with a graceful figure. Her pretty eyes were a little furious as he glared at the mysterious person. After which, she supported Xiao Yang beside her and asked, "Are you all right?" "I'm fine. Why have you come?" Xiao Yang wiped off the trace of blood on the corner of his mouth. He glanced at Zi Yang beside him and involuntarily asked with a bitter smile, "How dare you ask me this? Such a big matter has occurred, yet you did not inform my ancient Void Dragon tribe." Zi Yang's eyebrows were straightened when this was mentioned. Finally she spoke angrily, "This matter is far too big. If your ancient Void Dragon tribe is dragged into it and something unexpected occurs, you will have difficulty surviving." Xiao Yang sighed. Given the Han clan's character, which faction on this continent would be able to survive independently if they managed to obtain the ancient god mansion? Zi Yang rolled her eyes towards Xiao Yang. She quickly looked at the mysterious person, who was blocked by Jiyu Yuan. With a frown, she asked, "Who is this person? What terrifying strength? However, this aura of his seems a little familiar." Her final sentence was extremely soft. After all, she did not remember that she was once acquainted with such a powerful person. The guardian of the ancient god mansion. "I do not know why he is insisting on killing me." Xiao Yang laughed bitterly. He had merely barged into that realm below and did not have any deep hatred with this person. Hence, he was completely unable to comprehend the mysterious person's murderous intent. "Things are a little troublesome." Zi Yang sighed. Her hand gently drew across the space in front of her. A spatial crack was formed. One could hear the sound of rushing wind from within it. Soon after, many figures came rushing out. They were surprisingly the elders of the ancient Void Dragon tribe. "Although my ancient Void Dragon is no longer as strong as when it was at its peak, we will definitely repay the great favor you have bestowed upon our ancient dragon tribe. This time around, we will use all of our strength to help you." Xiao Yang widened his mouth after seeing the many elders from the ancient Void Dragon tribe. He sighed and gravely cupped his hands together towards these people. A mere thanks does not do justice to such a big favor. "Xiao Yang will remember the help you have lent me today." "Ha ha, Mr. Xiao Yang is too courteous. If you had not intervened time and time again, how would our ancient dragon tribe get the chance to unite?" The many elders immediately cupped their hands together and courteously said after hearing Xiao Yang's words, "Ha ha, this friend. If you wish to kill that brat, I can help you block this Jiyu Yuan." Han Tiandi looked at the mysterious person facing off against Jiyu Yuan. His heart involuntarily rejoiced as he laughed. Jiyu Yuan's expression immediately changed upon hearing those words. "Stop being a busybody." That mysterious person, who was originally extremely fierce, suddenly cried coldly towards Han Tiandi as Jiyu Yuan's expression changed. "You." Seeing that his friendly attempt was met with a cold response, Han Tiandi involuntarily became furious despite his control over himself. However, he quickly suppressed it. A dense expression flashed across his eyes. "Zhu Hua, you little brat. Do you still remember this emperor?" That mysterious person turned his head after forcing Han Tiandi back with his words. His eyes turned towards the ancient dragon tribe's elder and cried out in a deep voice, "Arrogant fellow." That group of ancient Void Dragon tribe elder was immediately greatly furious. This fellow was actually putting them down with his words. That mysterious person was startled after being furiously chided by these elders. He immediately felt neither able to laugh nor cry. It had been so many years. Even with the lifespan of the ancient dragon tribe, it was likely that very few could live until now. The person standing at the leader's spot amongst the many elders was currently the oldest first elder of the ancient void dragon tribe. He was also the Zhu Hua that the mysterious person had mentioned. His eyes were currently a little stunned as he looked at the mysterious person. Those turbid eyes of his were a little lost in deep thought. The ancient void dragon tribe had not had a dragon emperor for a long time. This emperor is the true current dragon emperor of the ancient void dragon tribe. Ziyang's face was also a little icy as she spoke in a faint voice. Seeing Ziyang opened her mouth, the mysterious person, who had a face filled with might and dignity earlier, immediately became stunned. Jiu Yuan had expected him to attack and hurt someone when he surprisingly rubbed his hands together in embarrassment. He nodded repeatedly. "You are correct. It is right for you to become the Dragon Emperor. You should be the Dragon Emperor." Everyone, including Ziyang, was stunned upon seeing his appearance. They quickly revealed some strange expression. This fellow was really strange. "This elder, today is the big war between our alliance army and the Han clan. I hope that you can stand idly by the side and not intervene." This Yang's expression softened as she said, "Not intervene? All right. I will do as you say. He, can you allow me to get a little closer?" That mysterious person nodded without hesitation after hearing this. After which, he uttered those words with a straight face. Nothing in his current behavior displayed the demeanor of an extremely skilled person from earlier. Everyone felt as though they had been struck by lightning after hearing this mysterious request. Some black lines appeared on her forehead. However, she could only nod her head due to the other part's terrifying strength. Jiu Yuan's group around frowned deeply upon seeing Fellow's sudden strange behavior. However, they involuntarily sighed in relief after seeing that this person did not have any murderous intent. Regardless of what the situation was, it was best not to be enemies with this person. That mysterious person's figure appeared in front of Ziyang in an instant after he had obtained permission to do so. His eyes swept over that beautiful face. That hard face of his revealed a complicated smile as he sighed softly. "You look a lot like your mother." "You have seen my mother?" Ziyang's expression was quickly altered after hearing these words. She looked at the man in front of her in disbelief. When her eyes clearly saw the pair of golden eyes, a strange feeling suddenly rose from deep within her heart. This kind of unusual feeling caused Ziyang's delicate body to suddenly tremble. Her silver teeth gently bit her red lips. Suddenly, she extended her hand and grabbed the hand of the person in front of her. Bright golden light suddenly erupted from within both of their bodies the moment their hands made contact. Finally, the light merged perfectly at the point where their hands were in contact. A kind of extremely terrifying pressure vaguely spread. Bam! The many elders from the ancient dragon tribe behind Ziyang immediately knelt. That kind of pressure caused them to be unable to even retaliate. Ziyang was startled as she looked at the golden light, which entwined perfectly with each other. Great ripples appeared in her eyes. An instant later, she suddenly withdrew her hand as though she had suffered from an electric shock. Her pretty eyes stared at the gentle-looking man in front of her and her eyes became icy. Xiao Yang, who was standing behind Ziyang, seemed to have comprehended something after seeing this scene. He could sense a bloodline strength completely similar to that of Ziyang. It was likely that there was a blood relation between the two. Moreover, this relationship could very be father and daughter. It was very likely that this mysterious person was the old dragon emperor of the ancient void dragon tribe who had been missing for thousands of years. No wonder he was planning to kill me. It is actually because my body possessed the ancient dragon essence blood that Ziyang had once given me. Only at this moment did he understand why this fellow was insisting on chasing him. However, from the looks of Ziyang's expression, it seemed that he was not overly excited. Nevertheless, Xiao Yang could sense the huge wave churning in her heart. "Child." The purple gold-haired man was a little helpless as he looked at Ziyang's face, which had suddenly turned icy cold. He clearly did not have much experience with regards to this. He could only continuously rub his hand and looked at Ziyang. He was completely unaware of how he should speak. "I am an orphan. I do not have father and mother." Ziyang spoke in a cold voice. However, his voice caused one to feel a heartache. Xiao Yang sighed. Ziyang back then was living alone in the deep mountains of the Black Corner region. Although her talent was outstanding, her life was ultimately not good. Subsequently, she had accidentally eaten an unripe body-transforming grass. Only then was she brought to the inner academy by First Elder Su Qian. However, she continued to remain lonely. She gradually began to have friends only after meeting Xiao Yang. Now that he thought about it, that greedy and intelligent little girl had a heartache that no one knew. The purple-haired lady stood in front of him. Some tears disappointingly rolled down her eyes as she spoke. "Father," She had once greatly anticipated this scene. It's my fault. It's my fault. I should not be greedy for the ancient god mansion. It is all because of that bastard too, she ancient god. He had schemed against me and caused me to be trapped for such a long time. That stern-looking purple-gold-haired man panicked after seeing the tears within Ziyang's eyes. He tried to stumble forward. Child, stop crying, stop crying. It is all my fault. Father will listen to you no matter what you say in the future. I can swear if you don't believe me. Xiao Yang sighed in relief within his heart when he saw this peak expert, who had once shook the entire continent, acting in such a helpless manner. It seemed that he really did care greatly about Ziyang. The surrounding people were also completely quiet. Clearly, they did not know just what was happening. Those elders from the had all become stunned. A thought that caused them to tremble surged within their hearts. Ziyang gently inhaled. Her eyes were red as she stared at the somewhat straightforward middle-aged man, who originally had an extremely mighty aura, rubbing his hands in front of her. Suddenly, she extended her finger and pointed at Hun Tiendi in the distance. Her noise had some sound as she said, "In that case, can you kill him?" "All right." The middle-aged man was startled after hearing this. Immediately, a ferocious expression suddenly rose within his eyes. The Alliance army became stunned as they saw a monstrous ferocious aura once again surging onto the middle-aged man. On the Hun clan's side, their originally gloating expression had immediately become ugly. "Your Majesty, the former Dragon Emperor, is it really you?" At this moment, Elder Zhu Luo's, whose mind was blurry, had finally awaken. He had also found a face similar to the person in front of him from his distant memory. Immediately, his body trembled continuously from the excitement. Even his old tears had begun to flow. "I have thought that you have completely forgotten about this emperor," the middle-aged man smiled and remarked after heading this. "This little fellow don't dare to do so." Elder Zhu Hua shook his head repeatedly. Although his external appearance seemed even older, he understood that he was merely a youth back when Ziyang's father was in charge of the ancient Void Dragon tribe. The other elders of the ancient dragon tribe looked at each other. Excitement surged within their eyes. No one had expected that the previous Dragon Emperor, who was rumored to be missing, would actually still be alive in this world. With this being the case, the strength of the ancient Void Dragon tribe would undoubtedly soar. Seeing this ending, which had suddenly become the meeting of long-lost kins, Xiao Yang could only smile bitterly and shake his head. Soon after, a joy rose within their hearts. It was unexpected that this mysterious expert and Ziyang actually had such a relationship. In this way, the situation was going to be turned around. "So you are the previous Dragon Emperor of the ancient Void Dragon tribe." Jiu Yuan sighed after seeing that the atmosphere was quite good. He immediately cupped his hands together and laughed. "Although I am older than you, one's strength is still the most important. You can call me Zhu Kuan." That so-called previous Dragon Emperor did not put on airs when facing Jiu Yuan. He merely waved his hand and said, "Brother Zhu Kuan." Jiu Yuan revealed a smile on his face upon hearing this. He cupped his hands together. It was naturally extremely beneficial to be acquainted with such an expert. "Your Majesty, Xiao Yang is a great benefactor of our ancient dragon tribe. He had rescued our tribe from many critical situations. Moreover, if it was not because of him, Ziyang would not have been able to safely return to our tribe." Elder Zhu Hua stepped forward and spoke respectfully. "Critical situation? How is the ancient Void Dragon tribe like now?" Zhu Kuan was startled upon hearing this. His expression quickly sunk. His era was the peak of the ancient Void Dragon tribe. There was hardly any factions on the continent who would dare to offend him. Elder Zhu Hua hesitated for a moment. After which, he roughly explained some of the incidents that had occurred after the Dragon Emperor had gone missing. Zhu Kuan's eyes had a fury flashing over his eyes after he heard the ancient dragon tribe was separated into 4. Clearly, he did not expect that these fellows, who had originally been extremely respectful towards him, would actually be so bold after he disappeared. "It seems that I am really muddle-headed this time around." Fortunately, they did not make a big mistake. Some cold sweat had suddenly appeared on Zhu Kuan's forehead after Zhu Hua roughly explained the situation. He smilingly looked at Xiao Yang. The expression on his face was extremely warm. It was completely different from his ferociousness from earlier. From what Zhu Hua had summarized, he could tell that Ziyang had quite a good relationship with this Xiao Yang. Adding this to how Ziyang had risked her life to protect Xiao Yang earlier, he understood that if any mishap had occurred to Xiao Yang today, it was likely that the matter would be difficult to resolve. Xiao Yang was a little speechless as he looked at the extremely warm face. At this moment, all he could do was to shake his head helplessly. He said, "Elder really knows how to joke. Calling me elder makes us appear like strangers. You are good friends with Ziyang. If you don't mind, you can call me uncle." Zhu Kuan waved his hand and hurriedly said. Xiao Yang was once again speechless. He felt neither able to laugh nor cry as he cupped his hands together and called, "Uncle Zhu Kuan." Zhu Kuan smilingly nodded after seeing this. The corner of his eyes drifted towards Zi Yang, who had been quiet. His heart rejoiced a little after seeing that the latter's expression appeared to become somewhat warmer. Ha ha, since I have promised my daughter, I will have to take this fellow's life. Zhu Kuan turned his head. His eyes looked at Han Tiandi some distance away before he spoke with a grin. Jiyu Yuan by the side involuntarily smiled. He looked at the extremely ugly expression of Han Tiandi. Suddenly, he had a relaxed feeling of wanting to laugh towards the sky. This was really the case of one's luck being changed. That fellow from earlier was attempting to add insult to injury earlier. However, he did not expect that the situation had been completely turned around in an instant. Based on his senses, Jiyu Yuan already understood that Zhu Kuan was definitely not weaker than him. The latter was also at the advanced 9-star Do Sheng class. With their strength combined, even Han Tiandi would suffer a miserable defeat. It had been many years since I have fought. It is really enjoyable for me to be able to encounter such a big battle immediately after I have been fed. Zhu Kuan's body gradually floated. He clenched his fist. Purple golden luster slowly spread from within his body as he stared at Han Tiandi and laughed. Humph. Seeing this sudden change in the situation, Han Tiandi snorted coldly while wearing an ugly expression. The ancient jade in his hand suddenly unleashed a bright light pillar. The light pillar shot down from the sky. After which, it directly shot onto the ancient door. He had already used the full strength of the ancient jade. Bang! The ancient door, which had been shut for an extremely long time, suddenly began to shake under the light pillar. Traces of cracks began to appear. The cracks became increasingly huge. A moment later, the ancient stone door was slowly opened towards the side amidst a creaking sound. An ancient ripple, which seemed to have originated from the ancient times, suddenly rushed out from behind the ancient door the moment it was opened. Both armies seemed to have suffered a heavy blow under this ripple. Their formation was turned into a chaos. Some of the weaker individuals were being forced back by 100,000 feet. Be careful. Xiao Yang hurriedly stabilized his body after seeing the army formation being scattered by this wave. He quickly reminded in a deep voice. The ancient god mansion is about to be opened. Jiyu Yuan let out a low cry. His eyes stared intently at those ancient giant doors, which were slowly opening. Has it been finally opened? Zhu Kuan was a little absent-minded as he watched this scene. He had tried all sorts of method to open the mansion while he was trapped in that space. However, they were to no avail. He was finally able to see this scene today. Bang! The ancient ripple became even more intense as the stone door was opened. At the end, there were very few experts from both parties who could still remain floating in the air. Jiyu Yuan, do you know just what is inside the ancient god mansion? Zhu Kuan in the sky watched the gradually opening ancient door before suddenly asking. I am not very certain. All I know is that the thing inside will allow one to advance to the Do Di class. Jiyu Yuan hesitated for a moment before replying. It is indeed able to allow one to advance into the Do Di class. This is because there is an embryonic D pill inside the mansion. If I guess correctly, this should be the target of Han Tiandi. If the latter could obtain it, it is very likely that he will advance into the Do Di class. Zhu Kuan said. Oh! Jiyu Yuan's expression was altered slightly after he heard this. Embryonic DI pill. If this was really the case, it might really possess that unbelievable ability. We must not allow Han Tiandi to obtain the embryonic D pill. Otherwise, once he advanced into the Do Di class, the Han clan will definitely not let us off, given their character. Jiyu Yuan spoke in a deep voice. Zhu Kuan nodded. He also understood just how terrifying an elite Do Di was. Just a realm that the Chu Shi ancient god had used was able to trap him for thousands of years. From this alone, it was possible to tell that the so-called Do Sheng was perhaps just like an ant in the eyes of a genuine Do Di. We will take the lead to charge in after the ancient god mansion is fully opened. As long as we are able to obtain the D-tier embryonic pill before Han Tiandi, it would not be too difficult for us to kill him given our strength. Zhu Kuan said. We will do as brother Zhu Kuan suggest. The two of them came to a quick agreement. With Zhu Kuan's help, Jiyu Yuan no longer needed to worry about being unable to deal with Han Tiandi. Xiao Yang smiled as he looked at Jiyu Yuan and Zhu Kuan, who were standing proudly. With such an expert aiding them, the situation had been changed almost instantly. Xiao Yang gently exhaled. He turned his head to look at Zi Yang beside him. She was startled as she looked at Zhu Kuan's back. From the looks of it, it seemed that she had not managed to recover from reality. Xiao Yang could only sigh softly in the face of this. Xiao Yang, do you think that I should recognize him? Zi Yang turned her head, looked at Xiao Yang and suddenly asked, if it is not because I was lucky back then, I would have already become the food of other magical beasts. You should just do what your heart tells you to. There are no parents who do not love their children in this world. I have been to the place where he was trapped. It was a dark and lonely place. His life during these years was also likely quite hard. Xiao Yang hesitated for a moment before he spoke in an appropriate manner. He understood that Zi Yang felt a little lost at this father of hers who had suddenly appeared. She did not know how she should deal with this matter. Zi Yang nodded quietly but did not speak. Xiao Yang spread his hands and did not say anything more. Such matters must ultimately be resolved by Zi Yang. Rumble. The ripple emitted from huge ancient stone door became increasingly fierce while Xiao Yang was chatting with Zi Yang. The gap between the large doors became bigger and bigger when the fluctuation was emitted. At the end, it had finally completely stiffened under the loud sound. Bang! A fluctuation that seemed to have originated from the prehistoric time suddenly spread as the ancient stone doors were fully opened. The entire sea of magma had been blasted until huge waves were formed. The land trembled. Many 10,000 feet large deep abyss were formed. The purifying demonic lotus flame covered Xiao Yang's body. He did his best to reject that kind of prehistoric pressure. The entire area within a 50-kilometer radius seemed to only possess the top experts from both parties. The remaining individuals were forcefully scattered apart. Some strange ripples was suddenly formed over the ancient stone door. The space became distorted. That huge door seemed to have agglomerated into a seemingly transparent tunnel. Move! Jiyu Yuan and Zhu Kuan rushed forward at the same time the moment the transparent tunnel was formed. Hun Tiandi and the nihility devouring flame had also turned into two rays of light, which charged into the tunnel with lightning-like speed. We should also go. Xiao Yang let out a low cry after seeing this scene. He rushed forward with extreme speed, enduring the dense pressure and charged directly into the tunnel. The experts from both parties also swarmed in from behind. The entire sky became empty as the many individuals charged into the tunnel. Only that ancient large door continued to quietly stand above the sea of magma. A faint fog enveloped around this mysterious space, causing the entire area to appear misty. This space was completely quiet. That manner was as though it had been quiet for eons. A piece of land floated in this seemingly vast and boundaryless space. The land was suspended in the air without any support. It appeared just like a pavilion in the air. The loneliness that had lasted for a long time had finally been broken today. The misty space had suddenly become distorted. Immediately, a huge spatial tunnel appeared. Soon after, many figures suddenly rushed out from within. Finally, they landed on that plot of land. Is this the ancient god mansion? Xiao Yang's body had just landed on the ground when his eyes hurriedly swept around him. However, he was stunned to discover that even with the great strength of his D-state soul, he was actually unable to probe beyond a 10,000 feet radius. Clearly, this place imposed quite a great pressure towards spiritual strength. Zun Kalin, and the rest had also swiftly appeared beside Xiao Yang. Their eyes revealed a cautious expression as they watched this mysterious space. With the many human figures appearing, the experts from both parties also hurriedly separated. After which, they stared at the other side with cautious eyes as they readied themselves for various sneak attacks. Do not be delayed by them. Let's go. The nihility devouring flame glanced at Jiyu Yuan's group. After which, his eyes turned towards this realm. There was some strange fluctuation appearing within his eyes. After which, he spoke in a soft voice. He subsequently took the lead to hurry into the distance. Hun Tiandi and the experts from the Hun clan quickly followed. The nihility devouring flame is actually aware of the way. Jiyu Yuan was startled after he saw this scene. Even he could sense some pressure after arriving in this place. It was impossible for him to probe and locate the DI-tier embryonic pill within such a short time. Unexpectedly, this nihility devouring flame seemed to be extremely familiar with the way. The nihility devouring flame, huh? Zhu Kuan was surprised. He immediately nodded while being in a deep thought. It is not surprising for him to know the way. Follow them. Zhu Kuan did not give any explanation after his voice sounded. He directly took the lead to give chase. Jiyu Yuan and the others hesitated for a moment before quickly following him. The two groups charged forward with full force on this seemingly vast and endless land. They were just like falling stars that swiftly cut through the sky. This fast charging continued for over a dozen minutes. Finally, the speed of the nihility devouring flame and the others in front were gradually reduced. Jiyu Yuan, Xiao Yang and the others swiftly gave chase after their speed was reduced. After which, they looked at the ancient stone hall, which appeared on that spacious plains. A fiery heat flashed within their eyes. The stone hall stood quietly on the vast and endless plains. An ancient aura spread from it and reverberated across the space. In front of the stone hall was an incomparably huge square. There were many 10,000 feet large towering pillars standing on both sides of the square. A towering like majestic aura pounced over from that place. Xiao Yang's group carefully landed on the square. Some rubbing sound quietly sounded on the stone ground as their footsteps landed. There was some distance between both parties. After which, they occupied both sides of the hall. They opened their strides and cautiously walked towards the square. This square was extremely spacious. Everyone felt as though they were ants crawling in the desert as they walked on it. It was difficult for them to see its boundary. However, everyone present could already be considered the strongest people on the Dochi continent. All of them possessed some metal toughness. Hence no one created an uproar. Everyone's hearts were filled with some respect and fear in this divine-like place. Xiao Yang's footsteps suddenly paused as he walked. He turned his head and looked at the top of a stone pillar a short distance in front. There was a cluster of deep yellow-colored flame rising from it. This kind of flame allowed Xiao Yang to see from a glance that it was a kind of heavenly flame. If he guessed correctly, this should be the mysterious yellow flame that was ranked 23rd on the heavenly flame ranking. Why is this heavenly flame so weak? However, Xiao Yang soon began to frown. This was indeed the mysterious yellow flame. However, it appeared extremely weak and tiny. Its appearance was as though the strength that was originally within the heavenly flame had been completely lost. A flame suddenly gathered on Xiao Yang's shoulder as he felt some doubts. After which, Little Yi appeared in a flash. It looked at this quiet square and a somewhat lost expression suddenly surged within its eyes. This place is very familiar. Xiao Yang's footsteps suddenly paused after he heard Little Yi's low voice. He turned his head and looked at Little Yi in shock. Familiar? This was the ancient god mansion. Who could be familiar with this place? What happened? Light flashed across Xiao Yang's eyes. A thought appeared in his heart and it was transmitted to Little Yi's heart. I don't know. I simply feel that this place is a little familiar. It seems that I have been here in the past. Little Yi replied while feeling lost. Xiao Yang's expression changed rapidly. Been here in the past? How could it be possible? The ancient god mansion was opened for the first time. Before this, he had never heard of the ancient god mansion being opened before. Hence, Xiao Yang first thought was that it was ridiculous when he heard Little Yi mentioned that it seemed to have been to this place before. Soon after, however, he thought that Little Yi, who was mentally connected to him, would definitely not lie. In this way, it seemed that there is a very high possibility that what Little Yi had said was true. However, Xiao Yang did not understand why Little Yi would feel that this place was familiar. Xiao Yang frowned tightly. His footsteps caught up with the others. At this moment, everyone had also discovered the heavenly flames on the stone pillars. However, the heavenly flames was ranked too far behind. Hence, they did not pay much attention to it. However, they had walked for another 1,000 feet when another towering stone pillar appeared. There was also a cluster of flame rising on the stone pillar, 10,000 beast spirit flame, ranked 22nd on the heavenly flame ranking. Xiao Yang slowly exhaled as he looked at the cluster of rising red flame, which vaguely revealed the appearance of tens of thousands of beasts. His eyes flashed. After which, he looked forward. His footsteps sped up greatly. Seeing this, Jiu Yuan and the others hurriedly followed. They once again advanced by 1,000 feet. Another stone pillar appeared. There was also a different heavenly flame rising from it. However, these heavenly flames did not possess an overly great strength. At a glance, it appeared just like a decoration. However, Xiao Yang, who was well versed in heavenly flames, understood that these heavenly flames were not fake. They were all genuine heavenly flames. These heavenly flamed, Jiu Yuan's group looked at this scene. Their eyes revealed a shocked expression. It seems that the heavenly flame ranking is higher the further in front it is located, Xiao Yang softly muttered. He turned his head and looked at Little Yi, which was sitting on his shoulder. After which, his eyes turned to the nihility devouring flame a short distance away. The latter's emotion also seemed to have a big ripple. However, there seemed to be a lost expression similar to that of Little Yi in them. Faster, Xiaoyan urged. After which, he quickened his footsteps. The group hurriedly followed. With their increase in speed, many towering stone pillars appeared one after another. The heavenly flames ranked on the heavenly flame rankings rose these stone pillars. Amongst these heavenly flames, Xiao Yang could see an extremely familiar green lotus core flame, fallen heart flame, sea heart flame, bone-chilling flame etc. It is unexpected that the Chu-Shi ancient god actually loves to collect heavenly flames. After seeing the 6th ranked flame on the heavenly flame ranking, the 8th wasteland destruction flame, even Jiu Yuan could not resist exclaiming. I wonder if the legendary top 3 ranked heavenly flames on the heavenly flame ranking are here? Yang Jin nodded. He suddenly looked at Little Yi on Xiao Yang's shoulder and the nihility devouring flame a short distance away. Although heavenly flames were rare in this world, there were more than one of each type. However, the top 3 ranked heavenly flames were different. Normally speaking, if there was a purifying demonic lotus flame or a nihility devouring flame existing in this world, there would not be a second flame of the same type appearing. Yet, the purifying demonic lotus flame and the nihility devouring flame were both currently present. One was in Xiao Yang's hands while the other had turned into a human shape to aid the Hun clan. Could that Chu-Shi ancient god have created a second purifying demonic lotus flame and nihility devouring flame? Go. Yang Jin was clearly not the only person who had such thoughts. Even those from the Hun clan and swiftly increased their speed after exchanging glances. The two groups quickly hurried over the spacious square. A moment later, all the figures came to a sudden halt. At this moment, they had gradually approached the end of the square. Another two towering stone pillars appeared in everyone's sight after they passed by the fourth-ranked Gold Emperor incinerating heavenly flame. Everyone immediately threw their eyes towards the top of the stone pillars the moment they saw the two giant-looking pillars. This time around, however, they did not see any heavenly flame rising from them. The top of the stone pillars were empty. The expected purifying demonic lotus flame and nihility devouring flame were absent from them. In other words, it seemed that these two types of heavenly flames were not included in the Chu-Shi ancient gods collection. Everyone sighed softly after seeing this. They appeared to feel a slight regret. These are the last two stone pillars. It seems that even the Chu-Shi ancient god is unable to obtain the legendary first-ranked heavenly flame. Jiu Yuan also spoke somewhat regretfully after seeing the end of the square after the two stone pillars. Xiao Yang did not interrupt. His eyes were merely startled as he stared at the two empty stone pillars. His hands slowly touched Little Yi on his shoulder. Suddenly, he recalled the familiar feeling that Little Yi had mentioned earlier and how the nihility devouring flame knew the way here. Xiao Yang touched the purifying demonic lotus flame. After which, he glanced at the nihility devouring flame, only to discover that the latter was looking at the last pillar with a lost expression. The feelings he showed. Seeing the somewhat strange expression of the nihility devouring flame, a thought that caused one's head to become numb slowly rose from within Xiao Yang's heart. It is not that the Chu-Shi ancient god had not collected the purifying demonic lotus flame and the nihility devouring flame, instead, the both of them had fled from this place. This video will end here.